The center of gravity for defense contractors may be shifting. For instance, many are moving their Asian operations to Japan as Tokyo prepares to sharply boost its defense spending given the geopolitical reasons in the region, I should say. Now, to talk more about global defense orders, who better than Natasha Pheiffer? She is Managing Director Asia of BAE Systems, Europe's biggest defense contractor. Natasha, very good to have you with us. So Japan is spending record amounts of money on defense. It's taking a leadership role, which could benefit the Indo-Pacific region. How do you think the international markets will look like in terms of defense 10 years from now?
Absolutely, Laura, and thank you very much for having me today. And it's a pleasure to be here at Singapore Airshow again, having attended several times. I think the geopolitics at the moment is obviously in a very strange place, right? And a lot of experts have spoken about how Asia can learn from the current Russia-Ukraine conflict. And I think there's a lot of studies being done around that. With the current threat situation, all countries have to ensure that they boost their defences and security and that they therefore set up for any eventualities. The threat environment keeps changing and therefore the military forces need to keep up with that, and companies like ourselves have to ensure that we keep up with the technologies. One of the key factors for us as a company is we protect those who protect us. So those warfighters on the front line who is keeping the rest of us safe every night, we need to ensure that they go home safe to their families as well. And therefore, it's extremely important for us from a defence and security business to ensure our technologies can do that.
Okay. So regional tensions have sparked increased defence budgets in the Indo-Pacific region. The UK, Australia, AUKUS security pact has meant that BAE is actually helping with Australia's first nuclear submarines.
Yes, so it is a government-to-government program. Obviously, BAE Systems being quite well placed both in the UK and Australia and in the US with shipyards and submarines that we do in the UK. But it is government-to-government, so obviously BAE Systems sits behind the three governments and how they want to proceed with this program.
Taiwan has allotted a record defense budget as well last year because of the cross-strait tensions. The US-Philippines have also deepened their relationship in the seas. Has that also benefited BAE?
So we do have a fair amount of equipment in Taiwan, and we're working very closely with the Taiwanese to help them become self-sufficient as well. Another area for us is extremely important as a company is partnering with local companies across the region where we operate, and therefore Taiwan is one of those examples.
Okay. The order books of the world's biggest defense contractors are at record highs. I would imagine BAE Systems is no different. You have quite a backlog at the moment.
We do. Unfortunately, I can't say too much on the financials today because, in fact, we are releasing our results tomorrow, so we are in a closed period. So 7:30 UK time tomorrow to have a look at our latest results.
You can tell us, though, where are your biggest orders coming from geographically?
I suppose, again, it depends on how you look. So us as a business, we operate across all sectors, which makes us quite a unique and part of our competitive advantage. So we operate across land, air, sea, space, and cyber, which, not many of our companies like ourselves do. So we specialize in all of those areas. And in some areas, obviously, maritime is a lot more important because of, what's happening in the environments around those countries. And in other land, land borders, and therefore our land equipment and artillery equipment is a lot more favorable. So it really is well spread across the business. Again, we operate, I mentioned earlier, UK, US and Australia. We have over 93,000 employees, and many of them are UK, US, Australia and various other countries. So a lot of our capabilities from a design perspective, R&D and manufacturing is in the US and the UK. So those would be, our largest footprint, obviously, and then around Europe, of course, with the current situation as well.
Which then are your biggest selling ticket items?
Obviously, again, because we're so spread, an aircraft is a lot more expensive than a piece of electronic warfare system will be, right? So we have a good spread across all of those. So our big platform programs, aircraft, training aircraft, maintenance, of course, from some of the equipment that we have installed around the globe for many years. Those will be the big ticket items. But then we have a large business in electronic solutions, for example, which are, you would call the black boxes, but it's the clever things in these big platforms. So they smaller items and therefore smaller prices, but again, it's a big draw for us. And space and cyber, of course, is really becoming to the forefront in defence and security, and we're well placed in both of those from a business perspective, but also recent acquisitions that we've made.
Okay, you've talked about acquisitions. I want to get back to that in a bit, but we are at the air show. You're truly diversified, but let's talk aerospace, let's talk aviation. What deals are you hoping to make at this air show?
You don't really sign too many things at an air show. Our industry is very long term. So a campaign, for example, I'll use Global Combat Air Program in Japan. It's again a government to government negotiation between Italy, Japan, and the UK. These are long term programs. So there's not one kind of deal that gets signed. I know a lot of the commercial aviation companies would sign deals for, airliners, etc. A little bit different in our industries. So no major announcements or signings for us this week necessarily. But we were in Singapore actually last week with In-Space Missions, a 100% owned BAE Systems company, where we signed memorandum of understanding with Singapore, the Philippines, Thailand, and Taiwan for the Faraday Dragon rideshare mission, which is really an exciting project for us here in Asia.
Okay. And there were a couple of acquisition deals that you also wanted to announce?
So Ball Aerospace, we received the regulatory approval last week to proceed with that, so it hasn't gone through. That is a leading US space company that will be a part of our US portfolio moving forward. The other is Malloy Aeronautics, which again was announced a few weeks ago, which is a heavy lift drone specialist technology company, again going to add really great, exciting technologies to our portfolio.
Natasha, we've run out of time. Thank you for joining us at this hour.
Thank you so much.
And that was Natasha Pheiffer of BAE Systems.